Hello, I'm Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show 2.0. Today, it's about simulators. Simulators, simulating, pretend golf, call it what you want, but even Tiger Woods is starting a TV show with simulated golf. Gary, why don't you introduce our guest? They've been doing simulators for a long time.
Well, you sure said the word simulators a lot there. I guess that's our subject today. Now, Mason Jones is the Vice President of Marketing for TruGolf, based in Salt Lake City, big into the simulator business. Here's an incredible stat that, and you probably have the number in front of you, Mason, but off-course golf revenue has surpassed on-course golf revenue. In other words, there's more money being spent off the golf course on golf than on the golf course. You can probably explain that better, Mason, but that my point is, what was Dustin Hoffman's line in The Graduate? The guy told him that the future, it's plastics. Well, in golf, the future is simulators and the future is already here, right?
Yeah, so I think the stat is that over not this year, but last year, there were 15.5 million off-course golf participants, and there were 13.2 million on-course golf participants, and then there were 12.4 million who did both. So kind of that crossover information is there are more off-course only golfers than there are green grass only golfers at this time. And so that includes entertainment venues like Topgolf and Drive Shack, as well as indoor golf simulator cafes that are like 5-Iron Golf and some of these non-franchise, just regionally available simulated golf cafes.
I feel like George Jetson in the future. Like, what happened? What happened to outdoor golf?
Well, it's certainly getting there. I think a lot of it is that this technology's gotten so good now that it won't ever replace green grass golf, but it is scratching that itch for people who love green grass golf. So as you can kind of see behind me in the window here in Utah, we just kind of got our first little taste of the winter. So that means we're pretty much out of it in terms of green grass golf this year. And I think now, like I said, that technology has gotten so good. Now I can go play all year round in one of these indoor facilities.
Wow. Well, I know one of the friends of the golf show was telling us a couple of years ago that in Korea, simulators are so popular that they have simulator leagues and people line up in bleachers and watch people
have
compete.
Tournaments.
Yeah, apparently it's crazy over there. So can it be far behind for the United States? Maybe Tiger leads the way.
Yeah, no, not at all. That's been happening actually for a little bit. Kind of what we've seen is there's this younger demographic that kind of grew up on video games and they're used to that digital experience. So originally we used to install golf simulators in people's homes, and it was kind of one of those really luxurious amenities like a bowling alley or a rock climbing wall. And you'd see this in these multi-million-dollar homes. But like I said, the technology is so rapidly transformed that now you can play simulated golf, full 3D with the advanced physics and all of the analytics you'd want to get from your launch monitor. You can get that down onto your mobile phone. So starting around 2015, TruGolf and our product E6 allowed people to start posting scores online. So they could, play 9 holes on one of these simulated golf courses, upload that, and then compete against people around the world. So we've been doing that since about 2015, allowing people either in real time or just posting like a scorecard, right? So you can participate on any simulator using TruGolf's E6 Connect software and compete with people around the world. And so we're starting to see this become far more serious. We're starting to see we actually offer a live skill-based contest that allows people to participate in closest to the pin via our software, so they can log in, enter some money, and potentially win some money or some gear and things. And so again, this didn't work before the technology was really accurate and before it was really accessible. But now I would say really the last 10 years, everything has gotten so good that people are really excited about this. And it also, again, it will never replace green grass golf, but it's such an amazing complement to it that people, like I work 9 to 5. And so that limits the amount of time I can get out on the golf course. But that doesn't mean I don't want to go compete. That doesn't mean I don't want to maybe lightly wager a friendly game between friends. And so now I can do it from my home with a more accessible and affordable launch monitor, just using my iPad. Or there's a number of indoor golf centers and cafes just located right down the street from my home. And this has been just a really rapidly exploding industry. So I think there's probably been 3 that have opened up within a mile to 2 miles of my house in the last, I don't know, probably 8 months.
Wow.
Well, when you said I work from 9 to 5, I can only get out to play golf. I thought you were going to say between 10 and 4. Hey, before we talk more about TruGolf, what do you know about TGL, the league that Tiger is putting together? Have you heard anything? Is E6 Golf or TruGolf involved in that at all?
We're not involved with that. I did see a couple of articles coming out. It looks like they're selling franchise rights for teams. It looks like these are going to be physical locations that they try to fill like stadiums to give golf kind of a radically new perspective for a television-based product. I think for a long time, golf as a TV product has really suffered just because they don't have scheduled timeouts. The course where they play are so big, it's hard to get every shot. That I know inside the industry for a long time, they've been trying to come up with a really compelling television product and help transform the television product. And that appears to be what this is, but we have no direct affiliation with it.
Yeah, I sort of assume it's, Tiger Woods is like a basketball player who he can still beat you in horse, but he can't go 1-on-1 or 3-on-3. And this is a way for him to continue to be competitive in golf. And of course, as the most famous man on earth, he's a pretty good drawing card. And they're going to, I think, hit into a simulator, and it'll be like on a jumbotron, if I'm not wrong, if I'm correct. And I think they're going to be out somewhere on a real golf course, or have somewhere with 60 or 70 yards and a real green. And when they get within that range, they'll go actually chip off real grass and putt on real grass. I would say the only drawback to, I love simulator golf. My son teaches at a simulator in Mars, PA, no off season, and gives lessons. Putting is the only thing that's not as good as the other stuff. Some of the brushes for the sand shots are just like hitting out of a bunker. They're incredible. But I'm a big believer in simulator golf, and if only I was rich, I would probably buy one of those franchises.
Yeah, no, it looks like a good investment at this time. I do think what you're seeing is that since 2019, there has been this huge boom in not only golf, but interest in golf, both on course and off course. And I think this is a really smart and strategic move to try to captivate those eyeballs, particularly in a new and exciting format. So it's not the same, this isn't golf with an edge or anything. This is an entirely new format that's meant to really connect with kind of that younger and new demographic that's all of a sudden become hugely interested in the game since 2019. So I think it's a savvy marketing move, and I do think it's a real endorsement of that even pros are using this as a way to compete. This is a real money-making endeavor, surely. And so the technology's gotten good enough that even pros can participate and play the game of golf in some form. And I think they're going to get a lot of people to watch it on television.
Oh, I think so too. I think it'll be, everybody's tremendously interested just to find out exactly what it is, how it works, whose team's going to play whose team, how that's going to work. But back to your products.
It should affect the housing industry. We got to start planning ahead and creating basements with a 12 or 14-foot ceiling instead of a 9-foot ceiling, because I can't swing a club in the basement or almost any other room in my house. So that's a problem. I need my own simulator space.
You need the simulator room.
That's but back to Kathy's question, you guys have an array of products, including, I'm sure you're going to tell us about the Mini. I'm sure there's different price points for every one. How affordable, and how can we get, if you want to get started have a home simulator, how can they do it? What do they look for?
Yeah, so at TruGolf, we've been building indoor golf solutions since 1999, but we've been in the golf software industry since 1982. So this is really at the core of who we are. And it's kind of that belief that golf is for everyone, no matter what the touch point or entry point is for people. We believe that basically as soon as you make good contact with the ball once and it cozies up next to the hole, you're a golfer for life. So it's
You're right.
our aim. Yeah, it's our aim to make it more accessible, affordable, and approachable. And so the entry product that we have is the TruGolf Mini. It's an on-club sensor that starts at about $280 that allows you to play the same simulated courses that we use in our professional high-end golf simulators. So the software is the same, but it's just taking swing information based on speed, direction, rotation, and then we simulate ball flight, presupposing good contact. So this product is really aimed.
You would need your own computer or monitor to display that, correct?
Yeah, so it also works on the
That's
iPad.
not included in the 280. You got to have your own stuff.
Yes, no, that's just for the proprietary hardware. So you would connect it to your iPad, download the software, and then you would play it swinging, and then the image would display on the iPad. And so we started with that product as kind of a way to help groove the motion. It's long been our hypothesis that the best thing we can do to help grow the game of golf is to provide non-intimidating entry points for people. And again, I kind of remember when I was first starting to play golf, you go to the driving range, you're playing really poorly, and you're kind of impacting all the people around you. You know, if you're hitting shanks or you're topping it or you're getting frustrated, there's this entire language and body language that's going on between all the participants on the driving range that's just really intimidating. Not to mention the first time you go to play 9 holes and you're holding up groups behind you, you have to wait for people to play out of their fairway. So what we wanted to do was come up with a solution that helped people kind of groove the basics of a swing to develop some familiarity before they step onto the green grass course. So after every swing you take with the TruGolf Mini, it gives you data on speed, club face, club path, and angle of attack, which we kind of believe are, if you can get some sense of what you're doing there, you're going to be able to hit the ball better the first time you go to take a club. And so it's sold with an impact trainer, and that's a little half club. It's weighted like a men's 7-iron, so you can kind of develop that muscle knowledge and muscle memory of how to bring the club up, how to bring the club down, and how to move through impact, just so the very first time you grip a club and swing it outside, you have some familiarity. So that's our entry-level product.
I feel like we're missing the boat so far. Places like Topgolf, this is the perfect way to teach people how to play golf and not be intimidated or be in the way. And then when, like they do in South Korea, then once you reach a certain level of skill, then you go out on a real golf course and you're not in the way and you can keep up while you still progress in your progress to being the next Vijay Singh. So I don't see these other places. Some of these places are just not into, they just want to make money and sell you food and drink. They're not trying to create golfers. And that's where I think TruGolf and simulators, have this you're in the right place at the right time with what golf needs.
Donald Ross, when he was building Pinehurst number 2, I think, somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think that the range there was the first range in the United States. And the reason is that Donald Ross didn't want anybody on the golf course if they weren't already a pretty good golfer, because he couldn't stand having, watching the people hitting it sideways and crossing fairways and losing balls and all that kind of thing. So he made them hit at the range first until they were proficient, and then allowed them to go out on the golf course. So it's kind of the same thing, but
it's amazing you can get the launch monitor type data from even the Mini. That's where that's incredible technology, and that's I was going to ask you about that later, but you're already onto it. It's great for instruction. My son gives lessons at a place like that, and you can get the sides, you get all the data from the swing. It's almost like being a tour pro.
Did your new products, were they a result of better chips and better software? Is that what allowed the progression to improve over the years?
There is a lot of that. So the Mini is kind of in that entry point to golf simulator. And then we also have our Apogee launch monitor. And so this is a ceiling mounted photometric system. And like I said, over the last 10 years, really what you've seen is the computing power in both mobile devices and the accessibility of high-speed cameras have allowed us to get technology at a reasonably affordable rate. So Apogee, the full kit just for the launch monitor and software, everything you need to start playing, this is not the booth and the structure, is $11,500. And then we sell a complete enclosure with a range mat you can hit off of and a projector for $18,000. So this is less than the cost of an ATV or a side-by-side or jet skis or a boat, right? So for the real golf enthusiast, this is kind of what we expect them to put in their garage. And so what Apogee allowed us to do is we wanted to make golf easy. Granted, golf will never be easy, but we can make it easy to improve. And so Apogee offers a point of impact replay after every swing. And so we show users where the club and ball interact. So we show you an actual slow motion video of your swing, because we believe that's the single most critical component of any golf swing, is where you impact the club. No matter what you do anywhere else, if you can create good impact at the sweet spot of the club, you're going to play great golf. And so we wanted users to be able to focus on that after every swing. And so we replay that, whether you're playing virtual golf courses, you're playing a version of Pebble Beach and E6 software, or you're on our virtual driving range, we do that point of impact replay after every swing. And so our focus was, if users can maximize their practice time and effort by focusing on the core components of golf, and they're going to get better, faster, and probably more easily. It's a lot easier than spraying foot spray on your club after every swing and doing that outdoors.
Yeah.
What's your greatest shot on a simulator? Have you had some hole-in-ones?
I have had one hole-in-one on a golf simulator, and it was actually, we have a version of Royal Troon, and I got it on the postage stamp. And so that one, that one feels sweet. Yeah. That may be where our golf similarities begin and end, unfortunately for me.
Well, yeah. One of you is dead, and one of you is not, so you're winning that one.
Condolences to Gene and his family.
Well, it's been a while.
They say you can't play dead. Is that what it is? But
yeah, he was what was he? He was 95 or 96, I think. But yeah, he made that hole-in-one at the 73 Open at the postage stamp, and he was right. I think he was 70 or 71 years old when he made it. So it was one of the greatest hole-in-ones ever, most memorable at least.
For sure.
It sounds like you're not. If you've only got one, it sounds like you're just not playing enough simulator golf.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I'd like to play a lot more, but we've been really busy. So again, since 2019, just the general interest, not only in golf, but this particular brand of off-course golf has really exploded. So we've been working with people all over the US and Canada that are starting their own little screen golf businesses. And so they're teaching, and like you said, they're selling beverages and selling food. So we've seen so many different types of these businesses, like really intense training academies and facilities for high-class junior players, to some guy that just wants six because he wants a really interactive sports bar. So we've seen this grow and grow, and we don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
Well, let's say I'm a billionaire, which is a fantasy I've had numerous times.
Let's say that.
And I want to go all in, and I want the biggest, bestest Mercedes of TruGolf. What do I need, and what's it going to cost, and how soon can I get a free version of it?
Absolutely. So like I said, our TruGolf Max, which is that complete enclosure and Apogee launch monitor, starts at $18,000, and then you can upgrade that to 4K for just under $30,000. So that's also part of what we've seen for the technology, is the accessibility of projectors and high-end PCs. You can get what at one time would have been billionaires only indoor golf experiences for just under $30K. And so we do have clients that want something a little more custom. So we work with their general contractors and the team building their homes So that's anything from curved screens to enormous displays that require 2 or 3 projectors, big floors with integrated putting cups. I mean, we do all of it. But the real core of who we are and what we sell is kind of that TruGolf Max enclosure at $18,000.
Yeah, and that's for simulated golf. That's very affordable. That's
so
incredibly reasonable.
instead of buying that third car, buy a simulator.
Yeah, or the boat or the side by side, right? They take up a spot in the garage as well. And, what we've seen is that the content that we're producing for our E6 Connect software and pairing that with the point of impact replay, it really is an investment in people's games. So historically, people used to just kind of show up and start hitting balls at these indoor golf centers. But now through this technology, kind of what we've done is try to gamify improvement. So we may not be directly telling you what you need to work on, but our software starts showing you the things that you can work on. And we found it's really driven the kind of daily active users for us and the amount of shots we see. And we're hearing more and more from our clients that really that sole focus on where the ball hits the club, driver through wedge, they're playing better golf. And honestly, that's the value we want to provide, is that we want to not only kind of scratch that itch for people who can't get enough golf, and we want to make golf a little more approachable to people who have never played it, but ultimately we want to help people improve and improve fast.
How about the database of golf courses? How does that happen? Are there any really great ones you don't have? And honestly, this is going to sound silly because I like to play mom and pop courses, but it'd be really cool to have your local crummy rundown muni on a thing you could play too. It'd be less weedy on the simulator, but tell us how acquiring the golf courses works. And I know
definitely.
There's a tournament held in April at a course that occasionally lets a few people use their thing for a week, but tell us what you can about the courses.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, there are a lot of courses we want, and we're always asking. And when they say yes, we'll do it. So that's how I'd phrase that one. We typically, what makes us different is we go out and we GPS map the course. So we make sure all the tee boxes are the same distance from the bunkers that they are in real life, and the tee boxes are to the greens, and the greens are the right size. And then we go through and we actually drone and do a photo scan of the course, and then we hand trace the shapes in. And that drone also gives us vertical data, so the difference between the lowest point of the golf course and the tallest point of the golf course. And so on our greens, that's accurate within millimeters. The tree placements are all there because we do a photo exact match. And then we do that LiDAR scan for height mapping that's accurate within millimeters. So it's a pretty laborious process. We go out to the course, we take photos everywhere, we take photos from the sky, we do the LiDAR scan, we access the GPS database and make sure we line it up. And then we give that to our team of artists, and they build that in our software. So rest assured that any course you're playing in the E6 Connect library, that's going to have a ton of time, effort, and energy, and is as accurate as you can make it. To your point, however,
any offices? Do you have any offices that have the products? That, for instance, the PGA Tour has a new headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was reading up on what they have inside the headquarters building, apparently they have a simulator area. And I thought, this has got to be the biggest lunch hour log jam in the world, to have everybody from PGA Tour HQ trying to get to simulators.
Yeah, actually what we've seen really is kind of in this return to work schedule of finding new ways to incentivize people to come back to the office. We're getting a lot of inquiries about, how do I make my workspace a little more entertaining that maybe feels a little more luxurious than a ping pong table. And we also see these in multifamily units. So whereas they used to have gyms and swimming pools, we're putting a lot more in these commercial developments. So we are seeing just kind of this number of like public facility, and it kind of becoming almost a utility for these, senior living centers that down in Florida, we're getting a ton of inquiries about that, and they'll want to have their golf course scanned and added to the simulator. We're seeing that for country clubs up here in Utah. We've got a number of them that are beautiful, top 100 courses in the country. And they want to put one of these in their clubhouse. So people, when it's January here in Utah and there's, on our way to getting 900 inches of snow, people can fly into town to their club and play the course.
Are there any courses that are notoriously stubborn about letting people vicariously play their courses?
Well, so every course we have, we go out and we certify and we work with them. So there are some that still say no to this day. I won't name names, but we are going to continue asking. So before I say anything particularly off color, of course, we want every course in the world. And so we have some exciting new advancements that we're not quite ready to talk about, but our hope is that we'll be able to create more courses, create them faster, and create them even more accurately.
Doesn't Augusta National sometimes let out a computer version that can be used only during Masters Week by courses, by users? Have you been involved in that at all?
No, that would not be us.
Okay.
I do know that they have previously given the video game rights to EA in one of the older versions of their software. But as far as I know, no golf course simulator offers an official version of Augusta National.
Well, meanwhile, we've got our shameless plug time. As subscribe now, it's free. You're not going to get spam or email. You just get a copy of the show. Click on like, because if we get enough viewers, someday maybe we'll reach our goal to make $1.17. I was saying 17 cents, but I decided we need to aim higher. So $1.17, that's our goal. That's how much money we want to make. Mason, now's a good time to say, what should we have asked that we're not savvy enough to ask, since we're not computer experts?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. The golf industry landscape is changing, and launch monitors and this technology really does offer everything you need to get better at golf, and to get better at golf more quickly, and ultimately to make golf easy. And you can learn more about it at TruGolf.com. That's TRUGolf.com.
Thank you.
That's awesome.